What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Robert Fitzpatrick. I am a real estate agent in the DFW area, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how the appraisal process works when you are trying to purchase a home or sell your property. So first, if you're a buyer, the reason an appraisal is important is because a bank is not going to lend you more than the house appraises for. This is super important. It was super important over the last year or two when properties were not appraising, meaning the property would appraise for lower than what the purchase price was, and buyers were signing appraisal waivers and bringing the difference to closing. This is super important. If you are purchasing a property, you want to make sure that the property is appraising. Why? Because if not, you may have to bring the difference to closing if the seller is not willing to come down on the price and if you want to still move forward with purchasing that property. So first, also, as a buyer, if you end up paying more than the property is appraising for, you may be upside down on your loan if you need to sell that property soon, within the next year or two. There's no telling what the market will do. And if you are upside down on your loan, that means you may be in a situation where if you go to sell that property, you may end up having to come out of pocket just to get the property off your hands. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to have to pay money out of my pocket in order to sell a property. Now, if you are in a position to where you have gotten an appraisal back and the appraisal says that the property is worth way less than what you are under contract for, guess what? This can be good news, it can be bad news. It can be great news because you may end up paying less for this property. Why? Because again, the bank is not going to give you more than the property's worth. And the seller is more likely to come down on price if it is backed up by an appraisal. Here's the thing though, okay? If the appraisal comes back much lower than what was expected, and you have to bring money to closing, if it's a $5,000-$6,000 difference, they may come down. If it's larger than that, they may not come down. But here's the thing, okay? Sellers want to get as much out of this property as possible, and buyers want to pay as little as possible. And I'm going to give you a story, okay? So I was working on a transaction one time, and I had a client who was buying two identical properties, right? These were new builds, and they were about 5 minutes from each other. Now, the good thing about these properties were that they were identical to two other properties that had sold by the same builder within the last month, okay? And so what ended up happening was these properties sold for $260,000, right around there, $260,000. So they were the comps for this other property, these other two properties, right? So we go through the process, get them under contract. It comes to the appraisal. The appraisal comes back, right? The appraisal comes back and it's low, right? I think it came back at like 255. Now, in this situation, my client did not want to bring $10,000 a piece for these two properties to closing because the bank wasn't going to give them more, right? So what I had to do is I had to go back and look at the appraisals. And what I noticed was that one of the appraisals had a concession or something in there that should not have been there, right? And so that made it look like the property actually sold for less. I brought this to the appraiser's attention, and we were able to get it overturned because I said, hey, look, these other two properties identical within the last month sold for the same price, okay? And the market's going up, so this should not be appraising for less. In other words, if you get a low appraisal and you don't want to bring the money to closing and you fear that you're going to lose out on this deal, you can always have your real estate agent contest the appraisal by showing comps that justify why you believe that this is the right price. Now, of course, this doesn't work every single time, but this is why it's so important that you understand that you need a real estate agent that knows how to properly price a property, right? Because the last thing you want to do is spend money on the inspection, spend money on the appraisal, spend money on all of these different things just to get to the appraisal part of it. And they say, the property is appraising for $10,000 less than what is on the contract, right? Because here's the thing. If the property appraises for less, you may lose out on the property if the seller doesn't want to drop the price. If the property appraises for more, well, that's a good thing. You're already locked in the contract. You know you have some equity if you decide to sell in the future. Great. You want to be within $5,000 of that property appraising, right? That's the sweet spot, I say. $5,000 of that property appraising. And so that's why you need a real estate agent that understands how to price a property, because the last thing you want to do is waste money. Okay? I don't like wasting money. I don't like my clients to waste money. So make sure you understand how the property is being priced. So I'm going to get into some technical things right now, okay? Most of the time, properties are appraised using the sales comparison method. And simply all this means is that the appraiser is going to look at what are other properties in the area selling for. They're going to look at the age of the other properties. They're going to look at the age of your property that you're trying to purchase. They're going to look at the year that maybe modifications were made. They're going to look at any updates that were made. They're going to look at square footage, bedrooms, bath. Does it have an attached garage, a detached garage? Are there any issues with the family? Like, they're going to look at everything, and they're going to determine how close is this property that you're trying to buy to the other properties that it's sold. And they're also going to look at when did the other properties sell, right? If a property in your neighborhood sold a year ago, that might not be the best comp, because so much can happen in a year. The market could go up, the market could go down. Also, how close is the property to the one you're trying to purchase? If it's a mile away, if it's a mile away, a lot can happen in a mile, okay? Go drive around. You can see there are $1 million properties, and a mile away, All in all, guys, if you want to learn more about the appraisal process, if you want an agent that knows how to properly price properties, and you want someone that's not going to waste your time and make real estate easy, make sure you consider going on my website and booking a consultation with me. I've added the information in the description. All you have to do is click on it, or you can email me at robert.a.fitzpatrick@exprealty.com. That's in the description. If you got any value out of this, make sure you like, comment, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.